Don't know if it was all in my head, or if it actually happened. It was December. Deep winter in Alaska. The sky barely showed light, just a pale gray smear from late morning until early afternoon. Ion documentary filmmaker had decided to make one last push drive along the Dalton Highway, the haul road up to the Arctic from Fairbanks toward the wild north. I wanted footage of frozen tundra, snow-carpeted fir trees, maybe even Aurora's footage no one else dared to capture this time of year. I packed my old 4x4, extra fuel cans, a sat phone, since cell coverage disappears after a point, flares, winter gear, and a heavy shovel. Snow had already started to carpet the road, white drifts rising over slick ice patches, frozen fog hugging the ground. Around 7 p.m. Alaska time, I left Fairbanks under a sky bleeding dusk. Lights of the town faded, replaced by a vast darkness, only snow and the dim glow of my headlights on a narrow road. The sign said, "Welcome to Dalton Highway, next services, 244 miles." I felt a thrill and a chill crawl behind my spine. As I drove north, the world was silent. Snow muffled even the wind. Occasionally, I passed a lonely gas station or a tiny truck stop, the likes of Cold Foot, but by midnight, they too stood, empty and shuttered. The wind howled beyond, rattling the cabin. Snow started falling again, slow at first, then heavier, obscuring the road. Visibility dropped. I turned on fog lights. My wipers scraped with weak sweeps against thick flakes. Everything around turned white. At around 2 a.m., I entered a stretch of road that purportedly cut through wilderness near Denali National Park. Though the park gates were closed this season, I couldn't see much, only endless snow and looming silhouettes of forest and mountains beyond mists. Then the snow stopped. The night got still. I pulled over to check the map on my sat phone. The screen glowed strangely. As I zoomed out, I saw an icon, LOLD logging trail to 128-mile marker. I'd missed the turn. I shifted the car back onto the highway, and then, in the darkness, I saw them, footprints beside the road, human-sized, fresh, leading deeper into the woods. I froze. The snow was blank. No footprints when I passed. How were these here now? Heart pounding. I locked the doors. The footprints stopped exactly where I was parked. I stared at the forest line. My breath puffed in the cold air. A faint sound, like someone exhaling. Then silence. I shook my head, turned on the engine, but the car wouldn't start. Battery, weak from cold or snow surge. I don't know. I checked. Fuel still half. I grabbed Flair's radio. Nothing. No signal. I'd have to walk if I wanted help. I grabbed my jacket. Flashlight. I wrapped a scarf over my face. Each breath tasted cold. Snow crunched under my boots as I stepped off the road toward the forest line. Following the mysterious footprints, I told myself this will be quick. Maybe someone stranded. But when I reached 10 paces deep into the trees, the footprints vanished. Instead, snow-covered bushes, thick firs, the silence, and something else. A whisper soft. Behind me, I spun. Nothing but snow-laden branches. The light from my torch flickered. My heart thudded. I heard it again. A breath, not human. Wet, low, coming from behind a tree. I zipped toward it, waved my torch around violently. Nothing. Then the wind picked up. Snow whipped sideways. The forest groaned. Trees frowned black against white. I heard a low moan, more like a groan of wood, or maybe something alive, maybe something old. Terrified, I ran back toward the road, my footprints in the snow. But now there were others. Dozens, all moving toward me, footsteps cracking through crusty snow, slower, deliberate, surrounding me. I ran, slipped, fell. My flashlight flew fading. I fumbled for the flare, struck it. Red light, it revealed dozens of shapes, humanish, but wrong. Tall, gaunt, tall arms, faces pale, staring. They didn't move, just watched. Snow settled on their shoulders like a cloak. Then, in unison, they began to hiss, a raspy exhale echoing through the trees. My ears rang. I screamed, dropped the flare, ran blindly. I reached the road, dropped to my knees. Headlights appeared. Far ahead, a large truck, lights cutting through snow. I waved, yelled, maybe they saw me. Maybe, but the shapes came too, sliding silent through snow, into the red glow of the truck's taillights. I crawled out, waving, knocking on the metal side. The truck stopped. Doors opened. A burly driver's face, concerned, winter-bearded. He shouted, "You gotta jump, man. Whiteouts ahead." I nodded, scrambled, and the cab was warm. The diesel heat smelled of oil and salt. I gasped, covered in snow, shaking. He asked my name. I stammered, "Just get me back to Coldfoot," I whispered. He nodded, but didn't ask more. We drove, engines roared, snow battered the windshield. I dared not look back. At dawn, pale, cold, but light, we reached Coldfoot truck stop. It was empty, no signs of people, but the heater was on, coffee pots steaming, 2 cups set on a dusty table. Driver vanished. When I blinked, I walked outside. Snow quiet, Coldfoot. Sign creaked in wind. Nothing. My phone buzzed. Satellite signal. I checked map. I was not on Dalton Highway anymore. I was somewhere else. Then I saw footprints. Mine, leading from the truck to the cabin, and below them, dozens of other tracks, circling. I looked up toward the forest. Silence. But I felt watched. I collected myself, put what gear I had, and drove south without looking back. Back in Fairbanks, I reviewed my footage. The dash cam caught only snow, nothing else. No shapes, no hissing, no silhouettes, except the moment I struck the flare. There is a frame, a gray blur at the edge of the woods, with 2 hollow white eyes. I deleted the file, packed my bags. I don't plan to return, but sometimes, when the wind howls and the snowflakes dance, I swear, I hear a whisper outside my window. You took the last mile. Now, the road is ours. I don't sleep. I don't leave the lights off, because the snow remembers. The dark remembers. And when Alaska whispers a name into the wind, you answer. When I finally got my car started, that's when it hit me. The snow was clean, no truck tracks, just mine. Guess I never actually got in the truck.